Um, I'm sure that there's a lot of things. There were so many things that were said, and, I'm trying to think, but that comes to mind right at this very moment. No.
Okay. All right. So let me talk about someone else that, when you and I spoke about Julius, the hairdresser, you had told me the story on how you would go to Julius, she would go to Julius. And I brought up on the podcast that he basically chose Margaret, because she's a housewife, over you, even though the both of you were paying customers. You had traveled with Julius, you were friends with him. But when she sent this group text, Julius chose her and not you. And then Julius called David and said, that's not true. I'm very professional, because I said that was unprofessional of him. It's not true. And I want to come to your show and I'm going to buy a ticket, and I would never do that.
Is that how it went down? Because I don't realize, but
that's exactly how it went down.
I like Julius, but go on.
I know you do. I know you do. But this is about Laura.
Okay.
And it's not even about Julius. It's about what Margaret does to people and what the demands that she puts on people. So here, Laura is his friend. She has traveled with him. She was told by Margaret, I don't rent a house with people who work for me. I don't do this, about Julius. Okay. And then Julius had to make a choice between her. This is what I'm getting at. Am I right about this, Laura?
You're correct. But so the text message was not the text message she sent out about me calling me a snake. Right. There was a text message between her husband, me, my husband, that she started when we were in this whole fight thing. And she included Julius on it for some reason. I was never responding to any of this because months were passing. I was done with all this. I'm meeting with who I want to meet with. I'm living my life. Somehow at one point there was some group text going on, and my husband wrote like, hey, Julius, or whatever, because he's clearly in the text message, but he was never saying it. So he says, I don't know why. I think it must have been a mistake. I don't know why I'm on this text message. It wasn't a mistake. It was on purpose, because she was basically saying, like, if you associate yourself with her, don't associate with me. So he wrote in there like that he really wanted us to make up, and, could we talk? And I was not responding. Him and my husband had a whole back and forth. He said in there, if she thinks that she's going to get Margaret to film with her and have this whole thing on camera, it's never going to happen. So Julius, claiming he didn't know what was going on, he clearly knew because he was writing about it. So I side texted him and said, I understand. You have to pick her. She's the housewife. I'm good with it. He wrote in there, I love you. I love Margaret. You two are my girls. I don't want this to happen. Can you please, can you talk? Can you make up? And I sent him a very nice text message back. And I just said, I love you and Arturo. Basically, I hope you remain in our lives. He didn't respond to that. 2 months later, I sent him another text message saying, I just don't understand what happened, because he said he wasn't going to pick sides.
Correct.
But he was clearly no longer talking to me anymore. So I sent him a text message and I said, I wish that if you were going to listen to one side, you would have taken the time to listen to my side.
Correct.
And he never responded to me again. That was last May. I never heard from him again. I mean, the last time he did my hair was like the end of last January. And and then those text messages were in March, and then in May, and I never heard from him again. And, she told me point blank, she said to me, I would not share a house with someone that I pay. And we went to West Palm Beach and we were all at dinner together, and her and I got into something, and I spoke my mind like I do. And, I said something to her that she obviously didn't like, that I said in front of Julius. And when we came home, she said to me, if you ever talk to me like that again in front of someone that I pay, I'll never be out to dinner with you again, because I can't have that. And I said, well, then don't speak to me like that at a table.
Correct.
And she went into this whole diatribe of how I was overstepping and that I'm overstepping with people in business that she knows, and that I've done a few things that she doesn't like. And she went through this whole thing about me overstepping, which personally, if I did, it was not intentionally. I was never trying to go to anyone to try to get me on the show. She had an ex-producer, we used to go for Botox together. She told me I wasn't allowed to go alone. I went alone once with him. She told me I wasn't allowed to do that I overstepped.
Oh my God.
These were all lead ups to the end of our friendship. These were things that I was shocked that she felt that way, but I was
the culmination. It was the culmination of things.
She
It was
didn't want me around.
Was it? Right.
I do like.
Melissa,
Well, no, I was
wasn't
going to
Melissa
say.
the one? Wasn't
Fine.
Melissa the one who told Margaret that she doesn't feel she should hang around with people she pays, or didn't that come from Melissa?
Well, the one and only time that I was in a hair salon with Melissa sitting next to me, we were talking. We were getting ready actually to go away, and she asked, where are you guys going, or whatever. And I told her, and she's like, "Oh, that's right. You guys go away with people who do your hair and stuff. I don't do that." And then oddly, after that trip, Margaret's telling me I would never rent a house with someone that I pay. So
oh my
I thought it was
God.
odd because Julius, we were truly, I loved Julius. We were very close. I was truly friends with him. And I thought she was too. And I didn't think that she would ever be like that, where she wouldn't rent a house with someone that she pays.
Terrible.
What does it matter?
Well, also,
Terrible.
I really do love Julius too. I don't see, right. It does go back to Margaret in the sense of if you and I broke up, Kim, I mean, it wouldn't happen, but it wouldn't happen, but
no, it wouldn't.
Right. It's not like you could still go, one thing has nothing to do with the other. I understand why Julius would choose Margaret too, just because, I mean, he is deep in the Bravo world. That is his whole life. That's his whole business. But why can't you go get a haircut there at least? Or
But it wasn't even about the hair. It was about our friendship.
Right.
He dropped our friendship completely. And
terrible.
He's probably just scared. He's probably just his business is so entrenched in Bravo. I mean, he has his great salon, but I'm not justifying it. It's more I don't know.
No, but she would talk and reveal that he would confide in her. And, she told me stuff about him and his business partner and things that were going on that she probably shouldn't have even known, but that he was confiding in her, and he will know it because he was confiding stuff in her. And I'm not going to get into it because
we won't do that to him. No.
I don't, but he trusts her, and he dropped our friendship. It was just kind of, it was